Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to my COVID days and nights. Uh, Today, a few things happened, and my district nurse came back to change the bandaging on my leg, and it wasn't as bad as I had feared it would be because it was the material was put directly onto the wound, but it was oozing enough that it didn't dry. So I guess that's a plus. But it's clearly infected, and it's quite warm and hot to the touch. And I've been feeling very, very hot. I actually was feeling okay this morning for several hours, and then did a video. But And then I sort of crashed in the afternoon. My doctor had called, and yeah, the antibiotics are being sorted, being sent over to my pharmacy, um, and increasing the dosage for antihistamines for my allergies. He called it an elephant-sized dose. um, so that's hopefully will do something. Um, but yeah, and it was interesting with the blood pressure monitor because I thought I'd take mine down and finally sync with a nurse that had theirs. And she took my blood pressure, and with hers, it said 128 over something. I can't remember what the rest was, but so the systolic was 128, which is like really low for me. And then did mine, and mine was 157. And then she had another one in her car because a nurse colleague left it there in her car, and so she went out to get it, and that one said 146. So three different readings by three different blood pressure monitors. But I am informed that even though the 157 is a bit high, and maybe the 128 is a bit low for me, it's probably somewhere in between, which might be still slightly high, but it's not um, so high that it's dangerous for the moment. So I'll have to try to see if they can do it manually. But yeah, this is just an interesting thing. And yeah, I spent the afternoon just dozing, resting, and I missed an additional call from my doctor. Don't know why. He called back again, left two voicemail messages saying he will try again, and then something about that if I have problems or something to call him. But it was a very poor message. It was a lot of static and noise, so I didn't hear most of what he said. So I'm gonna have to call, I suppose, tomorrow and wait for probably about 45 minutes to an hour and a half in a phone queue before I get through to anybody. But yeah, other than that I think I'm do still have a fever because I'm feeling very, very hot and at times sweating heavily, and it's gotten warmer here, but it's not that warm. Like currently, it's been 12 degrees, and I really need the fan on, which is turned off now, so I can record. But yeah, there's other than that, my taste is still vinegar at every single thing. I think I mentioned the other day that I had a little bit of milk that I figured I needed to use a thing, so I went to drink it, and like bad mistake because I don't know now if I'm gonna have that stuck in my brain, the milk tasting like vinegar. So I may not. I may be off milk for some time. In other words, but But yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off here for this. Um, my leg is just is still very painful, and um, it's swollen a lot, and we'll see what happens to it over the next little while. Um, the the nurses, every single nurse seems to do things differently, and there was one that was seemed to do something that was sort of proper, because it makes it heal a lot quicker, but the other one, this one today, didn't seem to want to do that. So um, yeah, you wouldn't have thought that care for a wound would change that much, you know. And it was kind of weird with the doctor. All that was the other thing. It's like doctor calls me up and says, "Oh, I understand you have a rash on your leg," and it's like, no, there's an open wound, and it's swollen from edema, fluid, and um, from cellulitis from several years ago. And he goes, "Well, that's a rash." I go, "Is it?" I never. And he says, "Oh, well, anything like that, open wound like that or ulcer, it's a rash, and cellulitis is considered a rash." And I'm going, okay, if that's what you insist, but very odd. But well, at least it seems odd to me, because I've never had a doctor or a nurse ever refer to the cellulitis as a rash before. So maybe technically I need to look that up. It just seems very, very odd. Anyway, excuse me. I am very tired, and I think it's going to be an early night for me, and then I'll be up probably in a couple hours, and the usual sort of up and down throughout the night. Anyway, I shall talk to you later.